I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough.
Jaguar Wright is bringing the heat, baby. She's pulling back the curtain on some truly shocking things the universally loved Jay-Z has done to amass power. According to her, he is a culture vulture.
He is the most shameful thing I've ever done. There is nothing that I experienced with that person that has not inspired shame except for Unplugged. That was the purest moment. For me, it was all done in love for music, love for all that was there, love for the culture. I hate the fact that we did it all for a culture vulture. For someone who never truly had the capacity to appreciate that moment in time. To steal it from the masses, to hide it, to cloak it. I put it up on Philadelphia last year when we launched. You know how many people came to the network to see that show that they never got to see?
One of the foremost accusations Jaguar has made is how Sean profited not only from R. Kelly's pedophilia and Biggie's death, but was also involved with underage women himself, the first of which is namely Aaliyah.
And this ain't me being an asshole. I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he fucking the girl that didn't want you.
Oh. Let the church say amen?
I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you moved his ass around and out of Rockefeller so tough and then just moved right over to Def Jam. By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And Beyonce's solo career was struggling? Jam on your horn now, that fucking ass record.
What she's talking about is actually quite interesting. In 2019, R. Kelly found himself in deep trouble, facing serious charges in both Chicago and New York. He was hit with state and federal indictments for aggravated sexual assault and abuse, including a 13-count indictment for child pornography, racketeering, and violating the Mann Act, which bans transporting people across state lines for prostitution. These charges are incredibly damning for the once celebrated super producer and R&B singer, who was the focus of the Lifetime series Surviving R. Kelly. The documentary exposed his horrific sexual abuse against women, most of them underage, including the singer Aaliyah. Jay-Z, interestingly, has always defended him.
I know you mentioned the best of both worlds with R. Kelly. Have you maintained any type of contact with R. Kelly since?
We spoke, like, you know what I'm saying, we spoke a couple times, but I don't really want to be like, I know he's getting calls from everywhere, and you know, some people are really concerned, some people just want to be nosy. They want to know what's going on in the guy's life. You know, I don't want to be another person like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, got love for the dude. You know, I mean, if he's guilty, I just hope and pray that he get help. If he's not, I wish everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody embrace him. You know, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. Our contact is just sparse.
Okay. Were you, as a solo artist, were you concerned about that whole ordeal affecting you the next time you came out with this album?
I was not concerned for my career, like as far as an artist. I know, like, I mean, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that. Like, I know I ain't have nothing to do with that. So
back in 1994, a Chicago minister named Nathan Edmond officiated the marriage between 15-year-old Aaliyah Houghton and 27-year-old Robert Kelly. Edmond stayed silent about this controversial marriage for years until he finally took the stand in R. Kelly's trial. Meanwhile, Damon Dash, or Dash, as his friends call him, spilled some interesting tea during an interview with Page Six. He revealed that Jay-Z had a huge crush on Aaliyah back in the day. Even though Aaliyah never showed the same interest in Jay-Z, he tried hard to win her over. According to Dash, Aaliyah was so stunning and fun to be around that everyone wanted to be with her. Lots of guys made serious attempts to date her. But when Aaliyah and Dash met, sparks flew, and they started spending more and more time together, eventually dating from 2000 until her tragic death in a plane crash in 2001.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when their plane went down. Good evening, I'm Lauren Glassbergen for Sandra Bookman.
And I'm Tim Fleischer. The plane, just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress.
Dash also admitted that he had no idea Jay-Z had feelings for Aaliyah before he started dating her.
What's the most painful moment in your life?
When Aaliyah died.
Okay. So when that happened, I think we were all shocked.
Yeah, I was broken.
I know you were nobody more than you because you guys...
Her mother and father were, but they didn't move on at all ever. And you can't, but yeah, it was very painful there.
Do you still listen to any of her music or no?
Nah, it hurts too much. Like on her birthday, one day I was listening to it, I forgot, with Nicolette and this girl, Big Deucer, because she's an Aaliyah fan, and I was trying to write for a movie, and then she had me crying. I was crying, I didn't like the way I felt. You know, that's something, it's a feeling that you have to learn to live with, but I was really in love with her, and she died tragically.
Dame, did that event ever want you to find out exactly who was behind it and what happened, or did you block all the theories that people were presenting behind it, or was it like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it and find out exactly what happened?
I mean, I knew what happened, so I didn't have to get to the bottom of it.
Does what the media and the market write about what happened match?
If I know what happened, why would I talk about what the media says? Just like saying they're writing about my girl and I'm with her every day. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't do the media so much. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I've heard they said like, everyone to me gets their turn at some conspiracy.
Right. Yeah.
So again, when you know what people write about you personally, it's hard to believe everything that you read. So
yeah.
no, I don't. To me, it's an oxymoron to be famous or be known and care about what people think. That's the dumbest shit in the world. And to let that dictate what you do, that's weakness. And I'm not driven by insecurity.
It's not sustainable.
Ever since many have speculated Jay-Z was hurt by Aaliyah's rejection and was behind the plane crash that killed her.
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Think of the power of that moment.
She even went a step further and spilled the beans on the truth about his wife, Beyonce.
Stand by your man, yeah. Whoops you. And disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
All right, well, let's do it like
who was
this.
Actually carrying his baby while you was faking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. The fact remains that Jay-Z very often exploited and groomed women to get to the top, and another one of those women is Foxy Brown, who also happened to be underage then.
Why do you know? The same reason why he want to erase his history with Foxy Brown and giving her syphilis, because they was underage when he did it.
I mean, I'm sure he appreciated it because he always says she talked too much. So when she went deaf, that slowed some of that down. I'm just saying, it worked out for him.
You know, I thought she just recently went deaf.
No, she been deaf. She been long time. Yeah, like at least the past 12 years.
Oh, they kept that on the low.
Exactly. Wonder why. You know, nobody acknowledged what was going on between her and Mr. Carter.
Because she was 15.
She was 15, and everybody knew it. But see, this is the thing. Back in the 90s, there were a lot of older dudes who slept with younger women.
Another person who's known Jay-Z for a long time and can speak to his rise to fame is Jaz-O. And boy, does he have a lot of shocking stuff to reveal. In an interview, Jaz-O went on a bit of a rant, suggesting that Jay-Z is part of a secret gay society. When asked about Jay-Z's connection to this mysterious group, Jaz-O cryptically said,
"All I gotta tell y'all is I told y'all in 2002, and y'all ain't believe me. I told y'all that was a crap, and y'all ain't believe me. You know what I'm saying? How many accounts gotta come up? Dame, Biggs, R. Kelly, Kiss, Beans. I mean, the list go on. That nigga crap. It ain't no hate involved, but you know, you gonna see. He's still biting my style. Jaz-O's the best. Secret Society with Jay-Z, man. He's involved, but he's involved with this shit, man. He involved with that place. Like, see, people don't understand the science behind Satan, Lucifer, and God. And if you notice, he calls himself Jehovah or Hove. And before they started retranslating, you know, the New American version of the Bible.
According to Jaz-O, this adds another layer to the ongoing discussion about Jay-Z's alleged homosexuality. While Jaz-O's perspective might make some think twice about the hidden meanings behind Jay-Z's image, the idea of him being gay isn't exactly shocking. The music industry has long been a place where closeted gay men maintain a straight public persona. And to top it off, it's also suspicious that Sean's mom is gay. And remember those non-stop rumors about Rihanna and Jay-Z having an affair when they first teamed up? Back in 2005, it was all anyone could talk about. And the buzz was so intense that it supposedly even led to Beyonce and Jay-Z taking a break for a year.
You did it homework. I did a lot of homework on you, this lady. He said there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window.
She's in another country with no one there. She meets Jay freaking Z and all the execs. They lock her in a room and let her know you're gonna sign this deal or we're gonna throw you out the window.
According to the Daily Mail, Beyonce was pretty unsure about the whole situation. Beyonce and Jay-Z are known as one of the music industry's power couples, but their relationship has definitely had its ups and downs. Lately, though, it seems like the downs have been getting more common, especially if Jaguar Wright is to be believed.
What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate. And part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it, and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask Jay Salih. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but you're gonna their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time, they built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah.
Unsurprisingly, Beyonce isn't taking it very well.
But I'm letting y'all know, it is not all roses and fairies in the Carter household. Beyonce has also dealt with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of depression, allegedly alcoholism, allegedly. And I said that real low. If you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, you didn't. Allegedly. But nonetheless, yeah, we're seeing the decline of this marriage / relationship. And when his tea come out, I really want to know how they gonna navigate this. Look at her during the Fantasia performance. She looked weird and skinny. Where you get all, I can't tell you where I get all the spicy tea. Allegedly. And let me say this too, between the stress, the money, the spiritual work, it's a lot going on.
Another artist by the name of Carmen Bryan revealed how Jay-Z has also gotten her pregnant because he was beefing with Nas.
Because I knew what type of person Jay-Z was. Jay-Z's he can be insecure. He has a little bit of low self-esteem in certain areas. And he's sensitive. And I kind of knew what areas, we all have sensitivities. We all have, things about us that we don't necessarily want the public to know about. And I told Nas, this is your opportunity to do whatever you need to do, but you have to do it all in one song. Like all of this subliminal, drop and mix, just rock this nigga and let's move on.
Okay. And then that became Ether.
I told Nas everything that transpired between Jay-Z and I so that he could write the song consciously knowing what could come back as far as a rebuttal.
And that's not the only horrible thing he has done. In his track Takeover, Jay-Z raps, "I was pushing weight back in '88. He was just 19 at the time, but by his own account, he started dealing drugs at around 14, shortly after his father, Adnis Reeves, turned to drugs and left the family. According to Zach Greenberg's book, Empire State of Mind, Jay-Z began moving serious weight alongside his childhood friends, DeHaven Irby and Emory Jones. While Irby has claimed that Jay-Z exaggerated his drug-dealing past, insisting that many of the stories are actually his, no one doubts that Jay-Z was involved in dealing drugs. Well, somewhat, at least according to an old friend.
But me and Jay was so best of friends so many years already, it was just nothing for me to be like, yo, once I get down here and get in, I'm gonna come get you. And then he came, you know what I'm saying? And once he came, I had already had everything in place for him. My family already knew him. My aunts and everything already knew him from all the gatherings over the years, so it was nothing.
Okay, so you put him in position, but how much of that work was he actually doing himself?
Everybody had a position. It wasn't just Jay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had a position. But the position he held, I wouldn't have made it to where I had. So I say he had a lot to say. So he had a 50%. He get out there. I ain't put too much on him. He didn't have to do anything.
Jay-Z's track, Do You Wanna Ride, was a dedication to Emory Jones, who, in 2000, was sentenced to 16 years in prison after pleading guilty to trafficking cocaine. 10 years after Jones was locked up, Jay-Z wrote a letter to a federal judge as part of Jones's motion for a sentence reduction. The letter worked, and Jones was released nearly 6 years early in 2010. Jay-Z picked him up from prison in a Maybach and later brought him on as a creative director at Roc Nation Apparel. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.